Assalamualaikum and good day to all of you. So my name is Dr. Nobushina Mulkasim. So I'm the head of key area for soil science. So today I will give lecture on the current issues in soil science. So first of all, I would like to introduce our team member. So this is the soil science team at Jasin in our faculty. Alright, so previously we are having 7 members, and then when Madam Nur Firdaus leaving us, okay, and go to Arau, okay, we are left with 6 members. Alright, so first and foremost is me myself. Okay, I have a PhD in science, and my project during my PhD year is on the peat soil. Okay, it is on the nutrient dynamics, okay, of peat in as affected by the fluctuating water table in the peat itself. Okay, and then I have a master in plantation industry management, and then we have a second one. Okay, we have one and the soil man. Okay, in our team, our handsome Mr. Muhammad Nuruddin Muhammad No. Okay, he has a Master of Science in Soil Microbiology. Alright, so if you're interested to pursue your final year project, or if you want to pursue your master, okay, in soil microbiology, okay, he is one of the member that you can look after. Alright, and then we have Madam Nur Firdaus. She's no longer here, but still you can elect her for co-supervision. Okay, so yeah, she has a master in plantation industry management, and most of her project is on the soil reclamation, okay, and also the bioremediation activities. Okay, and then we have our cute little pie, Madam Nur Azlina Abusari. Okay, she has a master of science in soil science. All right, so most of her project is on biochar. Alright, so if you are interested to do a project on biochar, okay, you can go and see her, okay, and get advice from her. Yeah? So nowadays we have the biochar association in Malaysia. Yeah, alright. So if you are interested with biochar, you can come and see her. Alright, and then we have our Madam Solo Adam here. Alright, so she has a master in plantation industry management, and then most of her project is on the compost, and then she also did some project in the recycling of waste, okay, especially the EFB and also from other major crops, okay, and turns them into compost, right? So she's the one that you can look after, okay, if you interested, okay, in studying the compost. All right, and then we have our beautiful Miss Nurul Wahida Hani here. All right, she has a master of science in land resource management. Okay, most of her project is related with paddy. All right, and then she did, okay, a project on soil fertility and also plant nutrition. Alright, so the new addition of members to our team, okay, we have our talented Dr. Nur Maizatul Bahman. Alright, so she has a background of PhD in soil microbiology. Alright, so if you are interested in microbes, okay, she is the right person that you can look, alright, and seek for an advice on soil microbes. Alright, so for me myself, okay, my interest is on the soil conservation and also management. Okay, most of my project is on peat soil. So if you want to treat a peat, if you want to conserve a peat, if you want to study a nutrient in peat, if you want to recycle the peat, so you can come and look for me, okay, and advice on your project. Alright, so some of our members we have grant, okay, for our project. Okay, so you can look, okay, into, and probably you may have some fun to do your project, okay, and do your project. All right, so if you don't have a chance to pursue your final year project with us, probably you can pursue your master, okay, and look for us as your supervisor if you are interested to do a project in soil science. Okay. Alright, so this is a little bit on our background. Okay, so we have 6 focus areas, okay, which are the soil chemistry. Okay, so this one, if you want to study on the soil pH, you want to study on the soil nutrients, you want to study on the soil CEC, okay, if you want to study on the bases, okay, which is the basic chemistry of the soil, as well as the nutrients which related to the fertilizer perhaps, okay. So this is the one of the focus area, and most of us is learning, okay, this area, yeah, soil chemistry. All right, and then we have a focus area on soil microbiology. So this one is quite broad. Okay, so we have 2 expertise in microbes, okay, Mr. Nuruddin and also Dr. Maizatun. Okay, and then we have the soil fertility and nutrition. So this one usually we directed towards Miss Nurul Wahida. Okay, also you can come to Madam Salwa. Alright, so in soil fertility and nutrition, okay, we study on the soil and also what is the impact on the crop growth performance, especially here. So our background, okay, our members, okay, we have, okay, the fertility and nutrition background. So you can come and seek advice from each and one of us. Alright, and then we have a focus on sustainable soil conservation, reclamation, and also management. And then we also focus on the rehabilitation and also bioremediation. Okay, so this one usually study on the heavy metals. Alright, and then we have the sustainable soil management for modern farming. Okay, so these 6 focus area, okay, if you are interested to do a project in one of the area, you may have a look, okay, so what you want to focus on, okay, and then you can come to us. Alright, you are welcome, okay, to join our team. Alright, and then this is some of the current research, okay, and some of the research has been completed, some of the research is still ongoing. Okay, so the star that I put is that is a project with grant. Okay, that is the project with FRGS grant. Alright, so you can have a look, okay, on the current research that we have conducted and yet to be conducted. Alright, so probably we will have some of idea, okay, on what are we actually do or what do actually we did in our research. Okay, so let's have a look on some of the issues in soil science. Okay, so the first and foremost, of course, so this is the well-spoken factors nowadays, climate change. Okay, what do you understand on climate change? It is the changes in climate. Alright, so what is climate? Okay, so this one is environment, okay, surrounding you. Okay, usually we relate it with the weather especially. Okay, so factors on the climate change, probably these changes is occurs because naturally, okay, or it may be resulted from the human activities which contributes towards the climate change. Okay, for example, the increase in urbanizations. Okay, nowadays you tak nak dah duduk dalam hutan, okay, you duduk dekat bandar. Okay, so the contractors need to, okay, develop new houses, okay, new area, okay, for houses, okay, urbanization, yeah. So when there is an increase in urbanization, okay, of course you will disturb the nature. Okay, you need to open the land, okay, you need to fell down the trees, okay, you need to cut off the trees, okay, so you will be contributed towards the climate change, right? And then, okay, let's say you have a factory, fertilizer factory, okay, the nitrous oxide emissions from the factory. Okay, so that is also the factors contributing towards the climate change. Alright, So the extreme events, okay, let's say the hot, very hot sunny day. Okay, so this temperature, it plays important role because it affects your soil. So I'm gonna discuss in the context of soil. All right. So the extreme events will dry your soil. Okay, meaning that the soil will have an extreme loss of water compared to the normal conditions. All right. So at this point of at this point when your soil lost a lot of water, okay, meaning that the temperature of the soil will rise. Okay, when the temperature and the natural condition has been disturbed, okay, of course the microbes will have an effects. Okay, probably your microbes will die because of the extreme temperature in the soil. All right, there is no water for them. All right, and then your crops also will die because there is no sufficient water for them to take. All right, and then it will result in an increase of cost, especially if you want to brought the water back to the soil. Okay, you need to do, okay, the watering, okay, more frequent compared to the normal events. All right, so that is some of the things, okay, that will happen. All right, and then we have the extreme events in form of the heavy rainfalls. Okay, heavy rainfalls will first resulted in the soil erosion. Okay, so your soil sediments, okay, will be, there will be the runoff or the of the soil sediments, okay, into the serious waste into the nearer water sources such as the lake, your river. Okay, so this will enhance, okay, the export of contaminants also, especially from your pesticide residues, from your herbicides residues, from your fertilizers residues. Okay, so at the moment these contaminants, okay, go into the water sources, okay, the more serious impact will occur. Okay, for example, we have the nutrient contamination in the water, which resulted in the eutrophication. Right? So, and then this water, okay, will run off, okay, into the groundwater. So there will be the groundwater pollution. All right, and then the surface water quality issues, okay, as a result of the contaminants, okay, especially the pesticide, herbicide, and also nutrient residues. Okay, so it will give impact to the living life, okay, in your water, okay, especially in the river, your fish, okay, and etc. All right, so that is some of the uh, results, some of the effects of the climate change. Okay, another one, okay, you see the fire there. Okay, that is because of the very extreme events, very hot. Okay, so it will spark the fire. Okay, so more, okay, more tree will be destroyed, let's say, okay, because of the burning. All right, so that's the impact of climate change. Okay, this is only a small, okay, only a small scale effects that we can see. Okay, there is more. Okay, there is more. Let's say large impacts of climate change, especially when we speak about ozone, we speak about atmosphere. Okay, so that is the large scale impact of the climate change. All right. All right. So let's say this is one of the effects. So this is commonly occurred in pit soil. Okay, known as the pit fire. All right. So in the extreme events, okay, of the hot temperature, meaning that hot sunny day you have a drought, okay, the pit will spark a fire because the pit itself, it consists of the organic matter. Okay, this organic matter, when they are dry, okay, once you spark a fire, okay, it will burn very quick. Okay, very quickly it will burn. Okay, so this uncontrollable fire, okay, will result in the pollution and also environment contamination. All right, so there is many effects. Okay, it will affect the human health, okay, because of the air pollution, okay, go inside your lung, okay, and some of the events, serious events, okay, it results in death, okay, because of suffocation, yeah, suffocated because of the what we call that because of the pollution, okay, disebabkan oleh asap, ya, okay, we cannot breathe properly, alright, so this is the impacts of the pit fire, okay, so we also experience, okay, this pit fire yearly, almost yearly. We will experience at least once. Alright, pit fire usually happen in Malaysia and also Indonesia. Alright, so the factors contributed towards pit fire, there are many factors. Okay, so one, of course, from a natural condition, okay, when there is a extreme hot temperature, sunny day, a drought season, okay, the pit itself, it will spark a fire because of the dryness, okay, and then we have the heat inside it, all right, and then it sparks the fire. And then it is also contributed by the human activities, okay. Some of the area, okay, they want to burn after they harvest the crops, okay, so they burn, okay, when they burn, okay, the fire become uncontrollable, okay, and it will sparks into a large scales and affects the, so pit fire is quite hard to control, yeah, because the pit itself, okay, 100% organic matter, so you cannot see, okay, either probably dekat on the surface, on top of the surface, you see that there is no fire, but it sparks inside, alright, so you can only see asap-asap yang dekat atas tu sahaja, ya, okay, and then the human activities is that, for example, in Malaysia itself, most of the pineapple, okay, planted on pit soil, okay, so once they harvested the pineapple, okay, usually they will burn the area, okay, they have the burning practice, alright, to burn all the stump of the pineapple, alright, so this kind of management is very risky and hazardous, alright, so once it become a pit fire, it's very hard to control, and of course it will give large impacts to us, especially, yeah. Alright, so it is very important for us to manage, okay, to manage the area in a sustainable way. Alright, for example, instead of we burn the stump of the pineapple, why not we conserve, okay, by using the stump, okay, let it decompose so that the nutrient and the organic matter can be returned back into the soil. Alright, so that is one of the conservation practice that we can apply. Alright, so humans, because when you do the conservation practice, okay, the process is quite slow compared if you want to burn the area, right? We need to think on the impact, alright? Alright, so previously it is the impact on climate change on peat, yeah? Alright, so now let's have a look on this kind of soil. Alright, can you guess what kind of soil is this? Alright, so you see the yellowish and brownish color, okay, of the water as well as the soil itself. Okay, so this is known as acid sulfate soil. Yeah. Alright, so acid sulfate soil. Okay, it consists of the strong sulfuric acid. Okay, so why the soil become acid sulfate soil? Okay, it is because of the intrusion of seawater. So the original soil is this soil. The original is that this soil is underneath the water. Okay, meaning that the water is at the top, the soil is at the bottom. Okay, so in the water itself, because of the intrusion of seawater, it consists of iron and also sulfur. So this combination is known as pyrite. Alright, so this pyrite, when you expose this pyrite to oxygen, okay, by draining the water on top of the soil surface, okay, this pyrite will react with the oxygen, producing the acid sulfate. Alright, so that is why we call this soil as acid sulfuric or acid sulfate soil. Alright, so in the original condition, okay, when the soil is covered with water, it is known as potential acid sulfate soil. The potential acid sulfate soil, okay, it is not acidic, okay, it is belongs to normal soil, alright, with a pH ranging between 5.5 to 6, alright. But once you expose the soil by draining the water, okay, the soil contact with oxygen in the atmosphere, alright, so the pyrite in the soil will react with the oxygen and producing the strong sulfuric acid. Alright, so this sulfuric acid, okay, will drop the soil pH up to down to 3.5 to 3. Alright, very acidic. So once the soil become acidic, it is not suitable for crops growth. Alright, so what you need to do, okay, one of the common, or we call that the proper management for this kind of soil is that, okay, you cannot drain the soil water, okay, directly, okay, in one flush. All right, so what they do is that they flush the water, okay, they flush the water in several, kita panggil, ada beberapa kali lah. Alright, they flush the water and replacing the water with the normal water, okay, instead of using the seawater itself. Alright, so maksudnya kita flush the water so that the pyrite will brought away, okay, will brings away. Waktu kita flush tu, the pyrite will be flushed together with the water. Alright, so once the pyrite, okay, flush with the water, okay, lama kelamaan, the concentration or the amount of pyrite in the soil will reduce, become low. Alright, so at this point of time, okay, if you want to drain the soil, okay, there will be no problems. Alright, because the pyrite is not there. So if you drain the soil, okay, the soil will becoming a normal soil. So that is one of the techniques to manage the acid sulfate soil by flushing. Kita panggil dia flushing. Alright. So acid sulfate soil, okay, this pyrite, okay, in a serious event, okay, it will convert into jarosite minerals. Alright. So once there is occurrence of jarosite, it is very hard for us to manage the soil, okay, because jarosite is very hard, okay, very hard, and it is very acidic. Alright, so in some cases, okay, if the soil has developed jarosite, okay, the soil will leave or will be abandoned for crop growth. Alright, meaning that you left the soil alone. Alright, so that is the serious events in acid sulfate soil. Okay, let's proceed to the next soil. So this is the beach ridges interspersed with swell soil. Okay, also known as breeze. Okay, breeze soil, yeah. So as you can see, the color is quite grayish, alright. And then you see there is no greens on top of the soil surface, alright. So usually breeze can be found of around kilometers away from the beach. Okay, so if you see the texture on top of the breeze, okay, you can see the sand, alright, sandy texture. Alright, so because of this sandy texture, okay, breeze have some problems, okay, such as low water holding capacity, it have a low nutrient holding capacity, it have a high temperature during hot seasons, okay, and then it have low population of microbes and more. Okay, so most of the time, these problems is because of the soil texture. Alright, so what we need to do to manage this kind of soil, alright, so we need to have a look on how to manage the texture. Alright, so how to manage the texture? Okay, one of the ways that you can add in some organic matter. Okay, how you want to add the organic matter? Probably you can use the organic matter as the soil mulch. Okay, by mulching on top of the soil surface. Alright, by doing the mulching and adding in the organic matter, okay, you can retain the moisture in the soil. Okay, you can improve the water holding capacity. You can improve the soil structure. Alright, so on the other hand, okay, to manage the nutrient deficiencies, okay, you may want to add in some fertilizer, okay, to improve the nutrient inside the base soil. Alright, so we need to top up the nutrient in the soil because usually the base is low in nutrient. Alright, so by adding organic matter also we can improve the soil cation exchange capacity because the sandy texture usually have a low CEC, okay, because of the large particles. Alright, so that is some of the way on how to manage the base soil. Okay, even some of the area they will planted a tree and become a shading tree. Alright, so this shading tree will improve, okay, the temperature of the soil by covering the soil. Okay, but most of the time they will do the mulch. Alright, so the organic matter which has been decomposed will returning the nutrients back into the soil and at the same time repair the soil texture. Alright, so that is some of the management that we can do on the greased soil. Right, so the sustainability, okay, so we have a lot of marginal soil in Malaysia, okay, acid sulfate soil, peat soil, pre-soil, ex-mining land ataupun ex-mining soil, and then we have the sandy soil, we have the shallow soil, okay, so these kind of soil they have their problems, but doesn't mean that these problems cannot be encountered. Okay, we can manage these problems step by step using a proper management. Okay, the results may be not seen, okay, in several days. It may take months, it may take years, okay, but with a proper management we can conserve this soil, okay, for a good crop growth performance or even better, okay, from those of normal soil. Okay, so in terms of sustainability, when we talk about sustainability, yeah, of course, okay, there will be an option for the farmers to choose. Either they want to choose a profit or they want to choose an environment. Okay, let's say, in order for you to manage the marginal soil, you need okay a lot of effort, a lot of money. Okay, so at this point of time, several years, initial years, okay, of managing the problematic soil, okay, the cost will be high, okay, but in several years, okay, you will see, okay, the return or the profit return back to you. But some of the farmers, they tend to see that if I want to use this kind of management which is sustainable, it will cost me a lot of cost, okay, initial cost. So the farmers decided to choose the conventional way. Okay, for example, if you want to plant it on peat, okay, first of the things that you one of the things that you need to do is you need to make sure the peat is compacted because peat soil is very porous. Okay, when you want to do the compaction, okay, you need to abandon the soil or leave the soil for further compaction of almost 1 year, okay, before you can proceed for planting. Okay, so meaning that you leave the soil for compaction almost 1 year. Okay, some of the farmers don't want to do that. Okay, because in this 1 year, they said that they can generate income. Okay, by planting crops. All right. So of course they don't want to choose that option. Okay, they don't want to abandon the soil. All right. So what they do is that, okay, they open the land for plantation. Okay, they plant. Okay, several years. Okay, their crops collapse because the structure, uh, the texture of the no the structure of the soil is very weak. Okay, peat cannot anchor your plant roots. Okay, so your plants collapse. Okay, so at this point of time, you plant. Probably for the first 3 years, you may earn profit from your crops, but after 5 years, you will see, okay, the diminishing of the profit. All right. So back to the sustainable way, where you do the compaction, you leave or abandon the soil for 1 year. You keep on compact until you believe that the structure of the soil is very strong. Okay, and then baru you plant. Okay, so these steps will ensure you, okay, that your crops, okay, will grow well. Okay, but for that 1 year you may have no income, or if you want to plant a cash crop, probably the income will be lower. All right, so that is one of the choices. Okay, the option that you need to choose. Okay, in other way, okay, let's say the organic farming versus the conventional farming. Okay, in form of the sustainability, okay, the organic farming, okay, is more sustainable compared to the conventional way. Again, okay, organic farm, okay, it incur a lot of cost compared to the conventional farm. And then some of the organic produce, they sell it at higher price compared to the conventional produce. Again, this point of time, okay, it is an option for you either to choose the profit or you want to choose the environment. So most of the time, of course, you will choose money over environment because money is yours, environment is not. Okay, so that is the option that you have as a human. Okay, and then we have the sustainable soil management. Okay, so in order for you to conserve the soil, in order for you to make sure your soil is fertile, healthy, okay, one thing you need to do is to make sure, okay, you are managing the soil in a sustainable way. No harm to the environment, but at the same time, you can earn a profit, okay, from your crops. Okay, you need to balance, okay, you need to balance out. So this is the some of the examples on the journal article, yeah. So journal article, okay, you can see the type of article, okay. Is it the research article or review article, okay? And then this is I just want to show you on how to write the journal article, yeah. Especially when you do the final year project, okay. After you finish the project, you may produce at least one journal article for your research. Okay, no matter if you want to do the research or if you do the review or case study. Okay, so in all this kind of research, you can do the journal article, right? So I think that's it for our briefing. Okay, and I just want to tell you that I left you with an assignment in the Google class. I give the class code to Madam Natasha. Alright, so you can have a look, okay, in the Google Classroom. And then for the next week lecture series, alright, I will give you a lecture on, I think that one is part 1, if I'm not mistaken, which is on writing the introduction. Okay, the slide is already in the Google Classroom, so you may have a look. You may take a look inside the Google Classroom. Okay. So if you have any question to ask, okay, feel free to WhatsApp me. Right? So this one is on how you want to write a table. Okay, the title of the table. The title will be on top. Okay, kalau figure, the title will be on the bottom of your figure. Alright, and then appendix and also the references. So this one is using an FPA style of references. Yeah? Alright, so I think that's it for our current issues lecture. Okay, so if you want to ask the question on the current issues, or if you want to choose a project on soil science, or if you are being selected to do a research on soil science, okay, so feel free to ask. Okay, even it is not my field, I will try to give an answer. Okay, I will try to ask our teammates, okay, to solve your problems. Okay, so feel free to WhatsApp me. If I can reply you on the dot, I will reply. Okay, but if I'm not replying, meaning that you need to wait for a little longer. Yeah? But I will absolutely reply your WhatsApp. Alright, so I think that's it for today. I'm sorry I cannot give you the first, no, I cannot give you an online lecture today because I have a meeting with the academics. Right, so I see you guys on next week during our lecture series. Okay, so thank you very much.